Okay, today once again you all are welcome in my channel. Today we are going to learn reinforcement learning. This is a very important topic and this is one of the algorithm which is used in machine learning nowadays widely. So let us start this lecture. So first of all, what is reinforced learning? Reinforced learning is a feedback based machine learning technique in which an agent learns to behave in an environment by performing the actions and seeing the result of actions. For each good actions, the agent gets positive feedback, and for each bad action, the agent gets negative feedback or penalty. Similarly, for a positive feedback, it gets some reward, and for negative feedback, it have some penalty. So, hope you understand these terms. Here, it is mentioned that reinforcement learning is a kind of learning which is a feedback based. Feedback based means your machine get learn every time when a particular action get take place. If a particular action data sensor or that particular robot takes, if it is positive, then it will be rewarded and stored in the memory. And if the action is it is negative, so there is a penalty and that also stored in the library. So we will take it further with an example. We learn it with an example. Now see, there is an environment and this is an agent. This agent, whenever it takes any action, it get stored in the to the environment. Then the environment will send back a reward. That reward is based on the action taken by this agent. If the action taken by this agent is a positive action, means it helps the environment, then the reward is given. If the action is taken as a negative action, then the penalty will be allocated to that particular action. So hope you understand this. We will move forward. The terms used in the reinforcement learnings are: number one is agent, an entity that can perceive, explore the environment and act upon it. Number two, the environment. Third one is the action. The actions are the moves taken by the agent. Agent is just like your sensor within the environment. The state is basically a situation returned by the environment after each action taken place by the agent. The reward is a feedback that I already tell you. When a positive action is taken place, then there is a reward, and if the negative action get taken place, then there is a penalty. Then there is a policy also. It's a strategy applied by the agent for the next action based on the current state. Next one is value. It is expected long term return with the discount factor and opposite to the short term award. That is what we call value. We will see it later on. So let us move forward. There are three ways to implement reinforcement learning in ML. Number one is the value based. The value based approach is about to find the optimal value function, which is a maximum value at a state under any policy. That is what we call value based. Means there is to a particular action there is a particular value. So this kind of machine learning algorithm is what we call value based reinforcement learning. Another type of learning is policy based. Policy based is what? Policy based approach is to find the optimal policy for the maximum future rewards without using the value function. In this approach, the agent tries to apply such a policy that the action performed in each step helps to maximize the future reward. Policy based means there is a policy of performing certain action. So on the basis of that policy, it is, and the policy is such that it maximizes the future reward. Means if a particular task at a particular state, it, let us suppose they get a reward of 1. So next time it will try to improve that reward and try to maximize it. Hope you understand the policy based. And third one is the model based. In the model based approach, a virtual model is created for the environment and the agent explores that environment to learn it. So for the different models, there are different types of algorithms are possible, the different ways are possible for the reinforcement learning. So let us move forward. Now, how does the reinforcement learning works? This is very important. See, How does this reinforcement learning works? How does the reinforcement learning works? So let us consider one example. I'll show you how. For this, okay, see, reinforcement learning, let us pose an example here. We consider a matrix 4 by 3. There are 3 columns and let us suppose 4 rows like this. Now what will happen? Let us suppose the robot is here, or your active agent is here, and he want to move up to this point, and there are some block states like this. So the strategy that through which it moves, its goal is, this is the start point, this is goal. The goal is to move the agent from this start point to the goal. There are several ways, like this, like this, like this. Now, how the reinforcement learning depends, it has to follow the easiest path where the maximum reward will be given to the agent. So, but sometime what will happen? Let us suppose the agent is there are 2 paths. Let us suppose sometimes the conditions are like this. The goal is here and state your agent is here. So there may be sometimes what will happen, there are, let us suppose these are the 2 paths only possible to reach the agent to the goal. So let us suppose the total reward by this path is 5, and from this path is also 5. So at this time a clash is occur. Now the agent has to be search out, or machine is confused which path it has to follow. So for this there is a Bellman equation. The Bellman equation was introduced by the mathematician Richard Ernest Bellman in the year 1953, and hence it is called Bellman equation. It is associated with the dynamic programming and used to calculate the values of the decision problem at a certain point by including the values of the previous states. So hope you understand, by the value of the previous state, there is okay, first of all we'll see the Bellman equation. This is the Bellman equation. This is Vs is equal to the max RSA plus gamma Vs. Now Vs is the calculated at a particular point. Vs is the value for a calculated, for each and every point you have to calculate it, and RSA is a reward at a particular state S by the performing an action, and gamma is a discount factor, and Vs the value at a previous state. So this Vs dash is the value at the previous state, means at every state like this point, I'm sorry, at every state like this point, as shown here, at this point let us suppose the value of the gamma is different, and at this point this is the reward point value, which for the different states have different values according to their past experiences. So the discount factor and the past previous state will able to determine the path which is most optimum. I mean to say, here it is shown it is 5, value is 5, but if we consider the value of the gamma discount factor, which is different for the different paths, this value comes out to be different. This value comes out to be different. So this value comes out to be different. So on the basis of this value, you can resolve this kind of conflict that occurs here. So Bellman equation is basically used. It is a dynamic programming, programming which is used to calculate the decision problem at a certain point, which resolve these kind of conflict where your path's value is equal. So hope you understand. Now come to the next point, type of reinforcement learning. There are 2 types. One is positive reinforcement, where for each move there is a particular reward, and again on the opposite of that there is a negative reinforcement, for which there is a penalty for each step. So by the either way you can do the machine learning, where by positive reinforcement and by negative reinforcement. So at the last, reinforcement learning applications where it is used widely in the case of robotics, RL, for navigation, robot soccer, walking, juggling. This is the very important. Reinforcement learning is used there. Control. Reinforcement learning can be used for adaptive control such as factory processes, admission control in telecommunication, helicopter pilot, So these are certain examples of reinforcement learning. Game playing is also one of the example. Tic-tac-toe, chess, where we use the reinforcement learning, which makes the game more powerful and attractive. Similarly, chemistry, business, manufacturing, and financial sectors, these are the areas where we use reinforcement learning. See, the purpose of this video is just to just to aware you all with the reinforcement learning. With in upcoming videos, I'll come back with the reinforcement learning examples where I'll show you how this reinforcement learning will be used in these areas for performing machine learning. So hope you understand this video and like this video. We will meet soon again with a new video with a new concept. Till then, stay tuned. Bye bye.